What's going on, Ghost Heads? It's a very special edition of the Ghost Heads radio show. This week is the release of Ghostbusters Back in Town, the limited comic run from Dark Horse. Um Great creative team behind this. We actually spoke with David and Blue, who did the art a few weeks ago, and we are here to give our non-spoiler reaction to issue number one. And we're also going to be previewing some of the early pages in the book. But joining me on this review of Ghostbusters Back in Town, issue one, is the one and only Retro Ray. What's going on, sir?
What's going on, sir? Crazy weekend, crazy week. Ghostbusters everywhere.
Absolutely. And we've already seen the film. The original plan was comic comes out on
Yeah.
Wednesday, the movie would have been out the following day, and sometimes the movie industry likes to shake things up a little bit. So the movie was released a week earlier, and so the comic is still coming out, but just, not as early as we wanted to, but we're here to enjoy it. We want more Ghostbusters comics for sure. And in talking with David Booher, this comic is going to tie in to the movies like pretty well. And I can tell you one thing: already getting through issue one, some cool references to some past movies. But this is non-spoiler, so we're not going to give any details on what those things are. Just keep an eye out for it.
Alrighty, and we got to give a special thanks to Dark Horse Comics. For without them, we wouldn't be able to bring you this review, getting the comic a week before, and being able to read it and give you our thoughts. And then also another quick shout out to Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of the comic stuff that we do. I loved it. Everything that Dave was talking about in the interview, I saw everything. I got it. It was for exactly the way he described it in my imagination when actually reading it. It took me back to like Sunday morning, like you mentioned, Sunday morning cartoons in in the newspaper. You know what I mean? Um, there's so much without giving spoilers. That's the hard part. It's a fun read. I really
Yeah.
love it. You get to see things in a different perspective. And if you already watched the movie, of course, if you already watch it, you're gonna once you jump into this, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, and it's one of those things. What did you feel?
I love the style, the art style. It is very reminiscent of like childhood cartoons, or like old school newspaper comics. So it kind of gives you that nostalgia factor right away. So I really did enjoy the art style of it. Secondly, this is not a spoiler. This comic is about the Spengler family traveling from Oklahoma to NYC. And so you'll see in the preview pages that I'm going to be putting up on this video, um, we're starting off them like pulling in to New York City, crossing the Brooklyn Bridge, and we get off on the right foot. This takes place in the year and a half gap between Afterlife and Frozen Empire, and just the setting up the Firehouse and the Ghostbusters universe that we're getting into right here in with this first issue. It's comical. It's funny. We are not all prepared yet, so you're going to see the struggles of trying to get the Ghostbusters back off the ground. It's not just, it's not a quick just flip of a switch, no pun intended. But there's going to be some struggles. There's going to be some challenges, and also this family, the Spengler family, this is not what they're used to. So we're gonna kind of see the dynamic of the family and all of that good stuff. I really enjoyed the jokes. I
Yeah,
thought it's on par with sort of Frozen Empire. The humor is there, the sarcasm. What's great about watching the movie first is as I'm reading everybody's lines in the comics, I can hear their voices. They're fresh in my head. Everybody's voices are there. Winston's in one of the early pages in the preview that I'm going to show, and he's got that sulky, deep voice, and it just pops in my head as soon as I'm reading this. So it's great seeing all of these characters kind of in this new dynamic. It's not the first time they've met, but it's pretty close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's still kind of fresh, their relationship, and you're seeing the foundation being built between everybody. And by the end of this first issue, we're getting some plot. I'm not gonna say what it is, but you're already kind of seeing stuff start to unfold, and it's really interesting. So
Yeah.
cannot wait for issue 2, which drops next week. Any other thoughts on issue 1?
No, exactly what you were saying. Especially like when we see them in the car and they're bickering at each other. That was the first thing. It kind of brought back afterlife memories, but then also the current movie. So yeah, it has that feel altogether. It's a definitely read. You want to pick it up. Don't miss it. Uh, Go to your comic shop if you can today, tomorrow. Pre-order it before Wednesday because I guarantee you by Wednesday afternoon it'll be sold out. So definitely go get your copy.
Yeah, absolutely do that. And last I'll say is there's something in here for all Ghostbusters fans, both new and old, like me and you. I'm not gonna say how old, but we're
Yeah.
we're getting up there. So I'm as old as the franchise, pretty much. Um, and there's stuff in here for us, man. There's things that we will need to explain to the younger generation, like, oh, that's what this is, and that's where this is from.
Yeah.
And there's just some great one liners. You're like, yep, I remember that scene, or yep,
Yeah.
I remember who said that before. So it's great. It's going to happen because this is building that foundation, and it's all about trying to get this organization or this company back off the ground. So it's kind of cool. Ghostbusters 84, there was a little bit of that, of like the hardships of trying to get this company off the ground. Ray selling his house, his parents' house, his
Yeah.
childhood home, just to get a loan and all that stuff. The struggles of getting off the ground. But this one's different. It's not just getting off the ground, but it's like getting the rust off of everything. It's kind of learning each other, the way everybody works, the way they think, and all that stuff. And luckily, the Spengler family has some OGs to look up to and to consult with, and also some friends from New York City, like Janine Melnitz for one. So
Yeah.
I think there's going to be something in this book for everybody. And four is it 4 issues, right? It's going to be
Four
only
issues.
4
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
Not enough to me, but I will take what we can get. So, folks, go grab Ghostbusters Back in Town issue 1 this week, and I can promise you that there's going to be some old references, and there's going to be some tie-ins to Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and that's from Back in Town writer himself, David Booher, who told that on our show. If you want to catch that interview with David and Blue Delliquanti, the primary artist for the comic, you can check that out on our YouTube channel or on our website at www.countdowntothegeeks.com. Ray, anything else going on?
No, I mean we're been pretty busy with you're doing your Ghostbuster event, us watching Ghostbusters. So yeah, it's been pretty crazy. We're working on some cool guests for Ghost Head Radio. Just stay tuned,
Oh yeah,
subscribe so you don't miss out on these guests that we're working on. So that's all I can say.
yeah. And to give a little bit more details about the events, if you're in the San Antonio area, we have 2 Ghostbusters events this week that we're holding at the Kung Fu Saloon, which is the site of one of the only Ghostbusters speakeasies in the world. Maybe the only one. Maybe. But Wednesday, March 27th is Ghostbusters Trivia Night. Starts at 9 o'clock. Look up Kung Fu Saloon or Kung Fu Saloon San Antonio. You can also just go to our timeline and find the event there. And then Friday is the official Ghostbusters Frozen Empire launch party. And come just have fun, grab some swag, rock out in your Ghostbusters gear and your merch, and come hang out with the Ghostbusters of San Antonio. It's gonna be a good time. I promise you that. They're fantastic, and it is the coolest bar you've ever been to. I mean, it's Ghostbusters decked out from floor to ceiling. It's you and the Stay Puffed, Terror Dogs, Slimer, Statue of Liberty, paintings of Vigo. I mean, they thought of everything. You got to check it out. It's my favorite place to be, and I'm gonna have to enjoy it as long as I can because the way this franchise works is they sort of rotate these themed speakeasies every few years. So gotta enjoy it while it lasts. So
Yeah.
yeah, for more information, head on over to our social media pages and we'll catch you guys soon. For Ghost Heads Radio, my name is Ted, aka Steady, and joining me on this review of issue number 1, which you should pick up this week from Dark Horse, is one the only Retro Ray.
Take it easy, guys.
Peace.